Hello everyone, welcome to Economy Simplified series of Drishti IAS. My name is Disha and today the topic for the discussion is foreign portfolio investment. So let's start the video. Okay, what is foreign portfolio investment? Now before watching this video, I would suggest you to watch a video on foreign direct investment which I have already made. It is a part of Economy Simplified playlist. You will be able to understand FPI in a better way. Okay, so before reading the definition, we will understand this with the help of example. All right. So there is a person whose name is John. John is from US. Okay. There is a person whose name is John and John is from US. Now John is having a lot of money. He has tons of money. Now what he wants to do is, let's say he has 1 crore rupees. He wants to invest these 1 crore rupees in an Indian market. Because as per John believes that India is a fastest growing economy, right? And our companies, our stock market is doing really well. Okay. So he wants to invest this 1 crore rupee in an Indian market. Now there are two ways through which the John can make an investment in an Indian market. There are two routes of making an investment. Now the first route is foreign direct investment. The second route is foreign portfolio investment. Okay, foreign direct investment I've already taught you. All right, but here I'll give you a very basic idea. See, what John can do is, either he can take this 1 crore rupees in an Indian market, he can establish a new company. Let's say if he feels that there is a lot of fitness craze among the Indian youths. So he can establish a company which makes a fitness related products. He can establish an entire new company or factory. Okay. Now this will be for a long term. John doesn't want a quick gains. He is thinking about the long term. So he can make investments through FDI. Now through FDI, he will open a direct establishment. He will be having a direct control. But he has the other option as well. If he wants to make a quick profit, he can use this path. He can make an investment through FPI. Now what he will do is, he will acquire the shares and stocks or bonds of an Indian company. Let's say if the John doesn't want to follow the long path, what he wants to do is, he wants to attain the quick gains. He wants to make a quick profit. So he will check that which Indian companies are making profits, which Indian companies' balance sheets are rising, right? So what he will do, he will invest in the shares of that particular company. Now this is what FPI means. Now let us read the definition. Foreign portfolio investment. Notice the keyword here. It's a portfolio investment. Portfolio means what? Collection. Collection of what? Collection of stocks, bonds. Okay. It refers to the investment made by the person, entity resident outside India. It should come from the outside of India. It should come from the foreign country. Okay. In Indian financial assets such as shares, bonds, government securities, units and other permitted securities. Basically, we are making an investment in the financial assets. We are investing in a stock exchange, primarily as a financial investment rather than to establish or control a business. See, here the objective of FPI is not to establish themselves or not to gain the control or managerial control of a company. What is the key objective here? The key objective is to make a profit. Here the investor wants to make a quick profit. All right. When we have read we talked about foreign direct investment. What was the objective there? The objective there was to establish a long term, to establish themselves in that particular country for a long term. Okay. So that is what foreign portfolio investment is. All right. Now what can an FPI invest in? Where you can make the investment? See, financial market itself is a very broad topic. You will need a separate lecture on that to make you understand. Okay. But here we will talk about the general stuff. You can make investments in the equity shares, government securities. You can buy the government securities as well. That will also come under your FPI. Then corporate bonds, then units of investment vehicles, derivative and other securities permitted under the regulatory framework. So all of these components are the part of your financial market. Okay. Now let us talk about the key features of FPI. What are the key features? First of all, investor should be a foreign person or foreign resident. Investor cannot be an Indian resident. Okay, the investment originates from a non-resident or foreign investor. Second feature is, it is a portfolio investment. The investor primarily purchase financial securities rather than establishing a physical business. Here you are not establishing a physical business. You were establishing a physical business in FDI, but here you will purchase financial securities. That's it. Okay. Then there is a no substantial managerial control. The basic objective is generally financial return. You just want to earn a quick money. You just want to earn a quick profit. All right. You do not want to gain a managerial control. In FDI, there was a managerial control, but in the case of FPI, there is no managerial control. Then fourth feature, it is relatively liquid. Liquid means what? That how easily an asset can be converted into a money. That means FPI are very liquid. It is very easy for you to convert your shares into money. Whenever an investor feels that the country is going through recession or a country is politically unstable, then in that case, the investor can easily pull out his money from the stock market. In that way, FPI are very liquid as compared to FDI. FDI are not that liquid because you have directly established yourself. You have opened a company, you have started a factory, production, you have acquired a land. So comparatively, it is very difficult in FDI to pull back your money from that country. But in FPI, it is very easy. You just have to sell your shares from the stock market and you will gain some money. So in that way, it is relatively liquid. That's why if we talk about from the investor's perspective, FPI are considered very reliable. If you want to make a quick gains, then you can use this path. But if we talk about from the nation's perspective, FPI are really volatile. They are generally unstable. We cannot rely on FPI. Why? Because FPI are very volatile. They are highly volatile. Also, FPI do not contribute in the employment generation. If we talk about FDI, FDI contributed in the employment generation. It contributed in the creation of physical assets. FDI also contributed in the Indian market to learn new technology. Okay, we also learn new technology from the foreign companies. But FPI has no as such benefits. Okay, so that's why FPI can generally enter and exit financial market relatively quickly. That's why FPI is also known as the hot money. So there is another name of FPI, that is hot money. Okay. Then if we talk about the regulatory framework, who regulates the FPI? Now SEBI is the key security market regulator for FPIs. Its basic frameworks deal with the eligibility of FPI. It will check that are you eligible enough to invest in the Indian stock market. It will check about the registration, KYC, disclosure requirements and beneficial ownership. So any regulatory framework with regard to FPI is made by the SEBI. Okay, because SEBI controls the stock market. Now, before moving forward, I have a special news for you. So there is a sale going on where you can get the 50% off on all the live courses, and the sale is going on from 11th of August to 16th of August, okay, on all the online courses, whether it is for UPSC, teaching exam, judiciary or CUET. All right. Now, there is another interesting news for you. Now, you will get the 50% off. Okay, if you will buy the ISGS course, you just have to pay 2 rupees extra, and you will also get the ISGS Prelims PYQ and GS Mains PYQ answer writing course as well. Okay, if you want to avail this benefit, you can directly call on this particular number. Okay, this is the number you can call on this particular number. Now, let's move forward. Now, let us talk about why FPI is important for India. Why it is considered important. See, first thing it does, it provides capital. FPI brings foreign capital into India's financial market. This increases the availability of funds for Indian companies and government securities. If I ask you that how nation can grow, how country can grow economically, so you will tell me that, ma'am, we can make investments. The more will be the investment, the more will be the production activity, and the more will be the GDP growth. This is the way a nation can grow. All right. But in order to make investment, we need capital. And FPI brings a lot of capital in Indian market. It increases the availability of funds. All right. If a company wants to expand, it needs capital. And that company will issue the shares in our Indian stock market. Now, if the foreign investors will also come to the Indian stock market, then this will increase the availability of fund. Not only the domestic investors will invest in the Indian companies, but foreign investors are also coming to our country. So basically, it provides capital, okay, in our stock market. Then it also deepens capital market. Greater participation of foreign investors can increase the market liquidity and trading activity. Now imagine there are two kinds of market A and market B. Okay, in market A, only 5 and 6 people are doing a transactional activity. Not that much trading is happening there. But if we talk about market B, a lot of people are coming. There is a lot of transaction activity going on. Lot of selling and purchasing is happening. So which market will be considered as a deeper market? Obviously, the market B will be categorized as a deeper market. Now, since domestic investors as well as the foreign investors are participating in our stock market, so eventually this will increase or this will deepen our capital market. Our stock market will become more stronger because there is an increasing transactional activity going on. Okay. Now, it also supports investments and growth. If the companies will be able to get more capital, then they will be able to make investments. If they will be able to make investments, then a lot of production activity will happen. So in a way, we will achieve a economic growth. Okay, through capital, you will get the investments, and through investment, production activity will increase, and through production, economic growth will happen. Okay, so this is also one of the contribution. It also supports the foreign exchange availability. FPI inflows bring foreign currency into India. Let's say John wants to invest in Indian shares. John is having a money, but that money is in US dollars. But if you want to participate in the Indian stock market, you want rupee for that, right? If you want to do a trading in Indian stock market, you need Indian rupees. Now, John will come to our country and he will convert his dollars into an Indian rupee. Now, in a way, our foreign exchange bank is getting stronger. Our foreign exchange reserves are getting very much strengthened. We will receive the dollars and then we will give him the rupees. So in a way, our dollar reserves are increasing. Okay. Now let us talk about the foreign institutional investment. Now, foreign institutional investment refers to the investment made by a large foreign institution. Now notice the keyword here. It is the large foreign institution. Again, we will take an example for this. Let's say there is a person who lives in Germany and he wants to invest in an Indian market, but he doesn't have an accurate knowledge. He doesn't know that which Indian companies are performing really well. So what he will go, he will go to an institution. He can go to a mutual fund company, a Germany-based mutual fund company. He can give some money to that particular mutual fund company, and he can say that, listen, I do not have the knowledge of Indian financial market. I am giving my money to you. You, as per your knowledge and expertise, invest in the Indian market and bring me the returns. All right. So foreign institutional investors are basically institution. No person is doing an investment in this case. Institutions are making an investment. Now, institutions such as pension funds, mutual funds, and hedge funds in another country's financial market. Foreign portfolio investment is a broader concept that includes all foreign investments in the financial assets without seeking direct control over the company. Now, always remember, foreign institutional investment is a part of foreign portfolio investment. They are not separate. FII is a part of your FPI. Alright, now FII is a part of broader FPI framework. In India, the SEBI reforms of 2014 replaced the separate FII. Earlier, these two were separate categories. We also had qualified foreign investors. Okay, we also had qualified foreign investor. This was the separate category, and FII was also a separate category. I've explained you FII, but if we talk about QFI, qualified foreign investor were the high net worth individuals who used to do investments. Okay, now both these categories have been merged into FPI only. Now both of them are the part of your FPI. Now it happened after 2014. Okay. Now let us talk about the key difference between FDI and FPI, because from here a lot of questions, there is a potential, like a lot of questions can be asked in your examination. So let us see what general difference is there between FDI and FPI. So if we talk about the definition, in FDI, investments made by the foreign investors to obtain interest and control over the Indian enterprises located in another country. In this case, you want to obtain the managerial control. All right. If we talk about FPI, investments in financial assets of a foreign country such as stocks or bonds without seeking control over the enterprise. Here the objective is not to establish a direct control. Here the objective is to attain some financial gain. Okay. Now here, what is the role of investor? Here there is an active investor. He is actively participating in the decision making of a company. But if we talk about FPI, FPI is a passive investor. He is not participating in the managerial decision. Okay. Now if we talk about its type, it's a direct investment. and FPI is an indirect investment. If we talk about the degree of control, there is a high control in FDI because you have more than 10% of the ownership of the shares of a company. But if we talk about FPI, then there is a very low control because you have less than 10% of the shares of stock market of any company. Okay. Understand this. Let's say if there is a company A and that company A has 100 shares. If you have acquired, let's say 20 shares of that company, your investment will be categorized into an FDI. Why? Because there you will be having a significant say over the decisions of the company. But if you have purchased, let's say out of 100, you have purchased only 8 shares, then your investment will be categorized into FPI. Okay? Because if you have more than 10% of shares, then only you will be having a managerial control, or you can participate in the management decisions of a company. Now, if we talk about FDI, it is a long-term investment and it is a short-term investment. I've already explained you that FPI is also known as hot money. Management of project is efficient there. In that case, it is comparatively less efficient. Now, here the investment is done in the physical assets of the foreign country. Physical assets means what? You will buy the machineries, you will create the factories, you will purchase the land. Here, as such, no physical assets are being created. Only the financial assets will be bought and sold in case of FPI. The entry and exit is difficult here. It is very difficult to pull out your money from in the case of FDI. But if we talk about FPI, it is relatively easier. The entry and exit is relatively easier. It leads to the transfer of funds, technology, and other resources of the foreign country. I've already explained you in the FDI that FDI brings a lot of new technology, a lot of capital, and as well as employment opportunities. But if we talk about FPI, it only brings the capital inflow. Only the capital inflow is coming in our country. Here the risk is stable. If we look from the country's perspective, from the nation's perspective, then FDI are considered as generally stable. If we talk about FPI are very volatile. Okay, if let's say if the inflation increases on a very high rate, then foreign portfolio investors will be the first one to pull out their money from our country. Okay, so in that way it is really volatile. Now at last I have a practice question for you. This question was asked in UPSC. It was asked in UPSC preliminary examination 2011. So let us solve this. Both foreign direct investment on foreign institutional investor are related to investment in a country. Which one of the following statements best represents an important difference? These are the 4 statements. You have to tell them that which of these statements represents the most accurate difference between both of them. Option A. FII helps to bring the better management skills, technology, while FDI only brings capital. B. FII helps in increasing capital availability in general, while FDI only targets specific sector. C. FDI flows only into the secondary market, while FII targets the primary market. Option D. FII is considered to be the more stable than FDI. Choose the correct option and write down your answers in the comment box. I hope you liked today's lecture. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.